This is the Sports Lounge. Welcome to the home of the Sports Lounge.
Welcome to our YouTube channel.
Welcome to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
So click on the subscribe button and let's stay updated with all the happenings, all the interesting conversations in the world of sports. And top of the morning to you. It's here another Saturday, and once that time it's 10:30, you know what time it is. It's time for the Sports Lounge on Pop Central. I found myself in the past week, rather, looking at the number 3, and I was wondering why. Because I know we're in the month of March, which is the third month of the year, and the number 3 is also epitomized by one of my favorite United players ever, Patrice Eva. One of the most lovable left backs or footballers of in the whole world. And he's known with this "I love this game" catchphrase. And the key thing about the 3 years is that we're actually 3 years. I'll be bringing you the very why they vex already.
I knew it was up to something mischievous. I thought we were going to take the cut up too.
You not know who started with you yet.
Yeah,
He said, I was like, this guy's up to something. Well, we're usually forward now, we're down to 3, and we're cooking something special with that. I'm here with Ifedoto, one of the best analysts on the show. Ifedoto, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm great. Very, very enjoyable sports week, have you?
It was. There's a
We
lot.
have NBA running down towards playoff season. We have Champions League knockouts, Europa League knockouts, Conference League knockouts. And there's also the Indiana Wells as well in tennis. So everything's enjoyable. If you walk throughout the day, when you get home at night, you relax with sports. So yeah, very good week. Can't complain.
Love that. That just should tell you that we have a lot to talk about today. But before we get into it, let me go to the man who has yet to fulfill his obligation from turning from an Arsenal to contractual obligation from turning an Arsenal to a Chelsea fan. You're still an Arsenal fan.
This is your blue, you know, say
That's today.
so not say you sporting Lagos. My bad. The arrangement it will still work.
It's Tommy. Tommy, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man.
That was the week now.
Yeah, it was a great week, man. Work was working as usual, but new projects here and there and stuff. But we thank God now. I think there's Formula 1 starting tomorrow morning. So
Yeah, that as well.
Hamilton and Ferrari.
Rooting for Hamilton.
I'm there. I'm already there.
All right, yeah, like you said, the Formula 1 season is about to begin again with the Australian Grand Prix. We'll be talking about that later in the show. But before then, there's also the UCL knockouts to talk about. There's the Europa League knockouts to talk about as well. And like I said, we have a whole lot. But there's no best place or no better place to start than the most controversial topic in the past week. Everybody has been talking about this since it happened, and it was Julian Alvarez penalty, which was deemed a double touch, and it was cancelled. And even though Oblak actually gave Atletico Madrid a lifeline, it still was not enough to help them qualify. But before we even go into that, do you feel like how much did that affect Atletico Madrid, especially after Oblak made that save?
I don't think it affected them. So this is my opinion. And again, opinions stand and energy, right? Good. So there are rules, and rules exist for a reason. Now, if we put emotions into sports, we end up annoying a different set of people, and you have nothing to fall back on. So immediately I saw the penalty, and I saw I think it was Mbappe and Vasquez. You know, the penalty has counted. The screen there put the green sign there and all of that, and I saw Mbappe and Vasquez in it. So I was telling the person I was watching the game with, like, if that's 2 touches, they're not going to count the penalty, because I've seen it happen before. I've seen it with Mahrez for City. I've seen it with Mitrovic for Fulham, right? Both of them slipped. None of the 3 penalties were intentional, and coincidentally, Alvarez slipped as well. And the referee, when the third player got, the referee is doing this. So obviously, VAR picked it up. So the truth is, I understand where the emotions come from, that they should retake it, or if the goalkeeper steps off his line and saves the penalty, they don't count it as a goal. They say retake it, the keeper has a second chance. So a lot of people are advocating that the player should have a second chance, especially considering the fact that it wasn't intentional. It's a different thing if you'd make like an intentional double kick. The way tricky players, them Vinicius, Neymar, they do this double hit when they want to pass. If it's a different thing if you do that, but this is a slip. But the truth is, if you say they should retake it, the referee has nothing to fall back on. So if the referee says, the rule says once you open game, open play, if you do that, it's a free kick against you. So obviously in penalty, that means the penalty doesn't count and the free kick against you. So going to shootouts, that's the only way to go about it. If the referee says take it again and Atletico score, Madrid fans are going to complain. So at the end of the day, you can't please anybody.
True.
What you have to do is follow the rules to the T. And if you remember, we had a referee conversation like 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago. Masnak was one of the referees that I called straight to the T. What does the rule book say? The rule book says if you have a double touch from penalties, you have to forfeit the penalty. So it made the best decision, but I understand you can't tackle the referee, you can't tackle what happened on the field. What you can do is go back to the rule book and adjust it going forward. And I'm hearing the talk of that going on already. So that's the only way about it. What happened was justice. There's no two ways about it. It was not supposed to be. It's not allowed. It's not in the rule book. And
All right, before we actually get Tommy's thoughts about it, we thought to just, actually read the rule out for those of you that have never heard of this rule before. So it said in football, the rule for double touch in penalty kicks is clear. If the kicker touches the ball twice before it's touched by another player, the goal won't count. This rule is outlined in Law 14.1 of the International Football Association Board, which states that the kicker must not play the ball again until it has touched another player. If the kicker breaks this rule, the opposing team will be awarded an indirect free kick. However, if the double touch occurs during the penalty shootout, the kick will be recorded as missed and the kicker might receive a caution. It's worth noting that this rule has been under scrutiny lately, while some arguing that it's too harsh, especially when the double touch is unintentional. In fact, UEFA has announced that it will discuss this rule with FIFA and IFAB to determine whether it should be reviewed. So, I mean, basically all what you've said. But let's go deeper now. To me, did Alvarez touch that ball? From all you've seen since, I think it was on Tuesday, Wednesday?
Yes.
Till date,
I saw the
have you seen any clip that showed that?
I saw the double touch
Alvarez
on your
did
status.
touch the ball?
I saw the double touch on your
I
status.
thought it was.
No, but so the only issue, and as Vel also said, the law is the law. The only issue I have with the law is it's like the own goal. Is it the own goal law that if he's facing the post, if he touches a player and that one is an own goal, and it's your goal and
it's
that's
like the shot on target.
so on target. So like for me, if the touch did not change the trajectory of the ball, that means the touch was minimal, was too minimal. So I think
that's
so.
what
No. That's what I'm saying. Like I so I don't want to use a vulgar word. I called the rule the S word. Immediately I saw the rule. Immediately I saw it because I'm like, it did not. The ball did not, because the rule is to prevent people from
It's smart,
manipulating.
yes.
But that touch did not manipulate
The ball.
the ball.
Coincidence.
That ball was going. That was ball was going where it was going to.
So
They
coincidence
don't even know
Yeah,
until
go on, yeah.
they didn't even know
onto VAR.
and they said it was the
So
sensor.
spotted it immediately.
They said it was the sensor of the semi-automatic offside that made VR even know that there was, because you know the sensor works by via touch.
Yes.
So the sensor detected
There was a touch.
2 touches. That is how VR could get that it was a double touch. And that rule has been applied in other places where if you play the ball and it hits the bar, you can't play it again.
That's the rule. You can't touch the same player.
So and to me,
from-
I don't think it makes sense that if I play a penalty to hit the bar, I can't play the rebound.
the rule is the same person cannot touch
Touch
the
the
ball
ball twice before, but
Yeah.
there should be, I think, this thing, especially when they review the goalkeeper's law. So if you review for the keeper that time, you should review for the player.
Yes, as well.
You should go in tandem. So if you if you so the keeper,
You know that the kicker's rule is that the same player cannot touch the ball twice in a row. So if the goalkeeper saves it, you can't touch
yeah, definitely.
somebody has touched it.
Yeah.
And if he hits the bar, you can't score it.
Yeah.
So
So I'm talking about the review I'm talking about was
very funny rule that-
off the line. So for goalkeepers, if you're off the line, you retake.
but
So if you make a mistake as a player too, you should be able to retake.
so the idea is that from penalty shootouts or from penalty kicks, the keeper is already at a disadvantage. So the rules is supposed to give them some sort of.
And I know you're sounding like a FIFA representative, but is this what you really think?
They don't. FIFA don't pay me money. I don't do all of that. The honest truth is just that whenever people stand up to the spot for penalties, you expect the player to score. Right?
More than
goalkeeper to me. So a lot of people they've said that even saying that the keeper must remain on the line is unfair.
is a disadvantage.
It's a disadvantage to the
But
goalkeeper.
funny enough, we've seen more saves when
We
the
said-
keeper is on, because now the keepers are more balanced
Yeah. So
and they are not rushing.
a lot of them.
Emerson and
They are not rushing.
finally.
Yeah, and I told you that every jinx see that
Watch Donnarumma too. Now Donnarumma takes his time because I am big. If I don't rush, it's agonizing.
I'm sorry, technique is easier now.
Yes, it's
A
easy.
lot of them have cut the scope, and the scope is they used to come out before. Like you cannot step
make
out
it-
and
to
make
make
yourself
the post-
do that. Now what they do is choose where you're going to.
And one leg
One
behind and leg ball.
So that way you can
Used to even
yeah,
and
it's a better spring and all of that. It's sports science. So the different videos that show all those advantages with waiting for the player to kick the ball, picking your side earlier, all those other things. I just feel like so far the referee is within the
we didn't do. Yes, so we can't blame the referee.
you can't blame the referee.
We can shout about the law.
But we can talk about the do we have a unified voice that really it should be retaken?
Yes.
So no, I don't.
No, not. I think it should be retaken. I think it should be retaken. But
my
the law is the
my
law.
point is they should go back to the rules,
Okay.
right, and make it a lot more. Is it adjustable or feasible? So they put certain clauses. Number one is if it's intentional. That's number one.
But then
Because if they make it retaking, somebody would try something.
so
all of that.
So why I don't like that that law is too subjective. Intentional will now start. See Michael Oliver and Co will now start saying I'm not convinced if it's a sleep. I'm not bro sleep. Let's just
Obvious. Don't worry. So
Neymar will start usually sleep if the keeper did not dive.
don't worry. When we also show you some, I'll show you like whenever you see clips of shaky players, all these flair players,
Yeah.
Neymar, Vinicius, you see when they do the double touch during the game. That one's obvious, very very obvious that it's intentional.
So I mean I like your point.
If there is result,
I like your point as regards the unintentionality or intentionality, but it was very clear that it's even Mitrovic and Mahrez. The example should it was not intentional.
No one was intentional.
there was a Bilbao one.
This is even the least obvious.
Yes, there was a Bilbao one I saw that Bilbao is themselves posted yesterday, day before yesterday. Athletic Bilbao posted
So really,
somebody's sleeping and it was counted. I think his own. Either they didn't.
against them.
No, they were the ones. Their player played it.
Oh, so that's an error now. Okay.
I think their player.
Examples all the time.
All right. I mean, condolences to Atletico. It was a painful one because I mean, Julian Alvarez, that's one player we spoke about and how he's doing so well. It was really impressive in that game, dragging players, setting up Atletico Madrid's plays, and it's a pity that they are currently out now. And Real Madrid just keep on going. You said Real Madrid will win. Has anything changed? As now that they've made it into
So
the game?
knockout football is very interesting. You make your projections based on whatever is on ground, right? And as the tournament progresses, you kind of have the opportunity to change your mind or whatnot. You remember we put a clause and said something about Madrid's favourites until they meet Barcelona. And we also said that Barcelona have like a more difficult route to the final. But we're looking at Real Madrid's route now. If Real Madrid gets to the final, they have to beat Arsenal first and most likely PSG. Or fair game, PSG or Aston Villa. Now you're looking at the way PSG played against Liverpool, and you might be worried for Madrid. Like, can Madrid cope with that tenacity and all of that? The game changer for Madrid is Madrid have killers. PSG wasted a lot of chances in the first leg and in the second leg. Madrid don't waste those chances. Everybody knows them. They're fake. And Madrid have, in my opinion, a lot more game changers. You have Mbappe, you have Vinicius, you have Bellingham, and you also have Rodrigo that seems to pop up.
I think it was fair that he calls Rodrigo last.
Game changer.
I think it's unfair he calls Rodrigo last.
I always say something about Rodrigo, and I've said it on sets before. Out of all those guys, Rodrigo is probably the most refined,
Most technical.
probably the most technical.
Then how come you told him last?
I said it's because he doesn't have the acceleration, doesn't have the sheer. Yeah.
Their ability or their
If I don't care. Why did you call him last?
I'm calling the best players first.
This is what it is. This is what it is.
That's just the truth.
This is what it is.
They're better than him, but in terms of being the all-round, the fact that he can move to other positions and hold his own, those guys cannot do those things in those positions. Do you understand? If you make Mbappe play from the right or Vinicius play from the right consistently with Rodrigo, you won't get the same results. Rodrigo plays on the left, he will ball. He plays up top, he will ball. He plays on the right, he will ball. Number 10. In fact, it's you connected Ronaldo's blessing of Brad. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm just saying that if you need somebody to step up for Real Madrid, it's not necessarily the one they will call. We all know that he's part of the supporting cast and he's playing that role.
You still think they'll win the league, the Champions League?
Yeah, nothing else.
For me, let's move to the other side because Inter
When they get to a classical final, I change my mind.
Inter has just been defensively resolute and they actually back it up. In fact, Ruben Amorim will be watching that Inter team and be saying, God, when? Because that's exactly how you'd like your a 3-4-3 or 5-3-2 to actually play. Marcos Thuram, Lautaro Martinez, brilliant players. They look very strong and it's brought up a very tricky tie. I think it's the toughest tie in that round. Inter Bayern for me. What do you think?
So the only issue with Inter for me is always is one way. Their game doesn't necessarily have a mix. So it is effective, but I always feel it's one way. And the issue with one way teams is it's a lot more difficult for one way teams to win knockouts. But you can win a league.
They're not
But
flexible.
they're not flexible. What Inter gives you today is what they will give. It might just change because of how good they are or how poor their opponent is. Maybe they are playing a City, so they might not play as much on the ball. But the shape and everything is good for league football. Perfect for league football. But for a knockout, and that's the beauty of the other side, the Madrid, that you know that they can play anything and adjust. So Inter Bayern, because of the coaches, I might tilt towards an Inter win, and because I think Inter might be able to exploit Bayern at the back. But Bayern seem to be picking up some kind of momentum. The attackers are beginning to look like they are clicking. Olise, like it seems like maybe company is beginning to own that I am the coach of a big team and I am him. Company is beginning to look like that. Maybe because Leverkusen is failing the league and stuff. But it's beginning to look like, okay, I'm here now. This is my team. They will play the brand of football I like, and they have game changers. That's that thing. And
At this
it's
stage.
too important.
Yes.
Having a Musiala that can conjure anything out of nothing.
Harik.
Olise,
There's something he did against
Joshua Kimmich. Like, you have players that can.
who did they play? Sorry.
Like Leverkusen, he flipped the ball,
Oh, Musiala.
flipped the ball. Like, so you having those kind of players means that.
That's why we watched the game.
But then on Inter side, you look at how Marcus Thuram plays too. That's it might not be a game changer as much as we wanted, but I saw him do one move after a dive where he beat like 3 or 4 players. It was so beautiful. So that was like Henry. Like, he was that, he has that. I'm like, yes, this is beautiful to watch. So it's going to be a very tough tie. But I just expect the experience of Inzaghi, might just make it. Let company prove to us. Let company prove to us that I am him now. This is the kind of games where you want, you know what? Musiala, go for it. Kill them. Let Olise run rampage. I don't want to be seeing you playing. No offense to him. I don't want to see Thomas Muller. I don't want to see any. Let us have a Koeman.
This now. Anyway.
Have a Koeman, Musiala, Olise, behind Harry Kane. Start the game that way. Or a Sane. I think Sane is speaking some form.
Yes.
Sane, Musiala, Olise. Go for it. Let Alfonso Davies run. Like, let us see that you are a big team. You own it.
So I don't necessarily agree with what you're saying. And it's just very, very short and simple. Like, if you get to kill stages in the Champions League,
Okay.
you have to be cautious.
True. That's very true. You have to be careful.
If you go out to, if you equal disrespect,
If you overplay,
it can be 2-0 down in 15 minutes and you have a big problem.
True.
You have
That's actually
finding
true.
your
I don't
back.
know.
Anita is a very, very effective team. If I was company, I'll be a lot more cautious.
This is the Sports Lounge.
Welcome to the home of the Sports Lounge.
Welcome to our YouTube channel.
Welcome to our YouTube channel.
Don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
So click on the subscribe button and let's stay updated with all the happenings, all the interesting conversations in the world of sport.
In my approach, definitely I will still play the same players, but the mindset is
Might be
just going to
slightly
be a lot
different.
more cautious in the sense that Inter have a back three. Yes, they're good attacking players in terms of building up play. Bastoni, Pavard, De Vrij, Acerbi, whoever plays in the back three, Bisek, they have good on the ball players, but those players can hurt you with their passing, not necessarily with their end products. So when you have players like Kane and Musiala leading your press from the beginning, you can drop back a bit, right? Don't worry, they're not going to hurt you from there. It's when they get to the final third, when it gets to Kalanoglu, Mkhitaryan, Barella, and co. That's how the danger is. So you can draw them in a bit, knowing fully well that if you win the ball, then you have Koeman into space,
Olise
into space,
Musiala
even Kane passes the ball into space.
space for them.
It can work for you, but you have to be resolute defensively. Like, there's a game changer in that tie. Manora is out. Yeah, it got injured. I think
Yeah, it was celebrating a goal.
yeah. So you also need to be cautious in your defensive setup, because if you open that boy, he's very young. He's like 17 or 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very young. If you open him up to Inter Milan's attack against
Lautaro,
Thuram, Dumfries,
and DiMarco.
and
Kalanoglu shooting from
those
wide,
guys
from
are
out.
very good.
Zielinski.
You might be behind and the time will be over before it even starts. So, in my opinion, if I was company, I'll start in a more cautious approach, looking to counter attack. That's the way it gets down 13 to counter attack.
Well, there's a better statement win that company would have for Bayern than actually scoring goals to beat an Inter team that's considered only 2.
None from open play.
That's brilliant. It's short of words there. Well, yeah, let's move to someone who's done particularly well, Aston Villa and Unai Emery. I mean, the way the whole story, your journey reaching here has been absolutely brilliant.
You want to open a wound in my heart.
What would that be?
Arsenal should have taken Asensio and Rashford.
They cannot afford it.
They could afford it.
No.
On the loan.
The only reason Villa could afford that was because Duran was.
So I think we are beginning to make the excuses you made for Wenger.
No.
For this match.
So it's maybe just an Arsenal thing in general. Right?
Yeah, it's not up to. No, because I think we had the calculation here.
Yeah.
And I said they were when I saw those 2 signings. I think we said it in TSL Mondays. We had a conversation on TSL Mondays that night, and I'm like, those are the kind of players. If you have Saka and those guys out, a dry loan for these players with not an obligation, an option, meaning that you don't need to buy them just for this period. How much wage would this guy cost that Kroenke cannot sign a personal check? Like, I'm just being. Those were the type of signings Arsenal should have looked at.
This has been a regular.
No, so Aston Villa is in the Champions League. That's the only reason why. And both players have been the best player in this period.
Actually.
So it shows that is what you go for. Is Emery knew what he was doing. It's not he had signed to Emale before they sold Duran. But selling Duran is like, I need firepower. Are there game changers at that level? I've been at that level. And I'm not falling as much as Sterling has fallen. You have an Asensio from a PSG who can get into a PSG team, rightfully so, but not a bad player at all. You have a Rashford that needs just small confidence to. You get it to them and look at the football. It's obvious that those guys don't belong in Villa. What they are playing now is obvious. Those 2 players, they belong in the elites, and that is what a team like Arsenal should have done.
Some sort of poetic, because now we see Asensio who came from PSG on loan, Rashford who has history with PSG, there's Disasi who was born in France, there's Lucas Digne who used it. So
there's what's the other guy's name? Emilio Martinez. I had heroics against France.
Yeah, exactly. So is this where the story ends, though, from a Villa point of view? Because they are going against probably.
So it's 2 ways.
One of the hottest players in the world right now.
So it's 2 ways. I want to be as magnanimous as possible. Everybody expects PSG to take control of that game, which is that's what you expect, right?
Yeah.
I think that Villa team is a very, very dangerous team on the break.
Exactly.
Yeah. I also think that this will cause maybe small recourse. I also think that between Marquinhos and Donnarumma, there are a lot of mistakes in that PSG backline.
Yes.
So what are you saying?
So I'm saying that PSG are clear favourites, but this is knockout football. This quarterfinal of Champions League. Anything can happen there. If I was a Villa and you give me Real Madrid, Arsenal, Dortmund, Barcelona, Inter, Bayern, I'll probably pick PSG first, and I'll look at
not Bayern that you've beaten before.
Never ever. I know I got away with that.
No, so I will make a statement. I'll make a statement about
Dortmund,
Aston Villa players.
Maybe Dortmund, but I feel like Dortmund would maybe because it's level
similar. Yeah,
they might give me small respect. I think PSG will be reckless with me.
I want to make a statement on Aston Villa players.
And they have nothing to
if
lose.
PSG are as wasteful as they were against Liverpool, they will lose Aston Villa because they would disrespect Aston Villa. And Nuno Mendes, Nuno Mendes will not follow. As much as he followed Salah.
The key context for me is disrespect.
Yes, if they disrespect Aston Villa,
if they give credit to
Aston Villa,
they'll beat Aston
Villa. But if they waste as much chances as they do and disrespect Aston Villa, a 1-0 here, 1-0 here, or 2-1 here, they will start chasing the game and they will have to come out so much.
Anyway, I feel like Enrique knows better than that. He has seen his team, his Barcelona side. Enrique is one of the coaches I admire a lot, and it's mostly because of
more than Emery,
humble beginnings. Okay, so
Enrique has a better.
There are 2 ways to it. So for Enrique started from, I think it was Roma first, then Celta Vigo next, and when he got the Barcelona job, a lot of people said he's only getting his job because he was a former player and all of that. But he kind of took the team to was one that managed the MSN first and all of that, brought out trebles and not just trebles. Sweet elimination players and all of that. But it was the one that first faced Xavi out, and this is in the most respectful way and manner. Xavi will come on for Iniesta. You know, those without annoying anybody. So there's also that management side to him and all of that. For Emery is more of it's more of like a cerebral entity. When Emery was getting the Aston Villa job, he got it on the premise that he'll be in charge of everything. So he's the one that brought Monchi, he's the one that brought the physicians, the health guys, the dietitians, all those things. So he basically set up his club. The owners of the club trusted him to build a whole project. I'm not sure Enrique can do that. But what Emery has also done is, in the clubs he has managed before, he has managed to get something out of them in terms of knockout football. FA Cups, Europa Leagues, or did he even enter Arsenal?
No, he got
That's an Arsenal.
he got flogged.
They might be just joking, but
He got flogged.
so in terms of getting something out of grinding results out, I think Emery, I'll rate him a bit higher, but in terms of impacting your style and your system on teams, I think that's where Enrique has.
Brilliant. We'll be going on a short break very soon, but the last conversation, is the last game. So we already know everybody thinks Madrid will beat Arsenal. So what I want to hear is, what can Arsenal do to actually beat Madrid?
So hearing that Bukayo Saka is on the grass now.
It's going to play.
No. Let me be, because you know
What's Arteta start saying all those things? That guy is fit. No, I still doesn't want him to.
I saw him walking properly in the stadium and hugging people up and down.
Doesn't want him to go for England camp.
So hearing Bukayo Saka is fit is really good, because this is a Madrid defense that everybody knows. If Asensio, how do you pronounce his name?
Asensio.
If he's the best centre half in Real right now, then Madrid have some problems at the back.
Doesn't he say more about Asensio?
No, I'm saying he's a good player. I'm not saying he's not, because he came from nowhere. He's a good player. But then, for example, if we use the Barcelona example, people still tell you Araujo is king and stuff like that. Well, no, we know Kubasi is best in that back. We know, but and we also.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
So for Madrid, if saying that the kid that got playing time because somebody had double ACL and two people had ACLs is the best centre half 6 months into his entry into the team, shows that there's something at that back. They're not even so confident in Felamendi as a left back as much. The kid left back, Fran Garcia, too, decent going forward. Behind him, I don't know, I've seen Vinicius running back to help that boy defend a couple of times. And then, you know, Madrid don't like to have the ball. Arsenal too don't really like to have the ball in tough games like that. Arsenal would rather prefer let Ceballos and Co have the ball and hit them on the ball.
Ceballos back.
I don't know. Is he fully back? I'm not sure it's fully back. I'm not sure it's
That's
fully
the
back.
problem for Arsenal.
Yeah. So I'm looking at it that it's a 50-50 game that anybody can't. But once Arsenal gets their chances, they have
To be effective, yeah.
that is it. That's the only. I believe that I don't think Madrid can score Arsenal 2 goals in both legs. Anything is possible. Don't go and quote me, oh. Don't go and quote me. Oh. But I don't expect Madrid to score 4 goals. Like that's 2-2. They can score 3 in Bernabeu. That's possible. But I don't expect Madrid to score 2 goals at the Emirates. I'm going to score 2 goals. Okay, so I'm thinking if Arsenal can limit them and Arsenal take their chances, 1-0 here or 2-1 here, extra time win, all that kind of blah blah blah.
Well, Mikel Merino, if you're listening, Tommy has told you, once you get that chance, essentially the new number 9 for.
So it's not going to be done. He's done. He's not playing. He won't start tomorrow.
I know you make talk. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. It's the Sports Lounge on Pop Central. And welcome back. If you missed the first half of the show, you missed an interesting and important analysis on what's happened in the UCL so far. Fedotto still takes Madrid, go all the way until they meet Lamine Yamal and Raphinha in the final. Tommy is still having heart issues as regards whether he loves Arsenal or Chelsea, because he's still yet to fulfill his obligation to come and appear in this show in a Chelsea jersey. But we're still observing that. But let's quickly jump sports because it's a sports lounge, not the football lounge. And let's talk NBA. And I know some games caught your ticket. Some NBA game caught your ticket yesterday. Well, how do you see the season going on so far? And I think the biggest question is, who do you think is going to be MVP this year? Will Jokic take it again, or Shai Alexander-George?
So I feel like unlike in football where people look at the trophies you've won, all those things, that one's a different conversation entirely. But I feel like in NBA it's mostly unanimous, especially because most of the people that do the voting for the MVP, they look at basketball in the same way and manner. Right? They kind of tend to vote for quote and unquote complete players. You know, all those guys that have the triple doubles and all those other fancy things by the side. Not necessarily because of where your team is ranked in terms of the standings and all of that. And that's why Westbrook was able to win it all those years back. That's why even trying to remember, I think it was James Harden that was either fourth seed or fifth seed. I was able to also win it as well. So I think obviously because of standings, a lot of people are looking at SGA, saying that it's probably the best. I think it was better last season than this season. I think if he didn't win it last season, despite how good he was, it's going to be very difficult for him to win it this year. I think Jokic is still the favorite to win the MVP award. It also makes you worse that there's the MVP for the league season and there's also the MVP for the playoffs as well. So with the league season in particular, discussions, I think Jokic will win it again. It's just a trend. That's what happened.
I mean, with 29 triple doubles and the next to him,
I think there's one out of the last four MVPs. I think there's 3 out of the last 4 MVPs as well. And the one he did not win was the one Embiid won, which was very contentious as well. I think everybody was saying, no, we cannot allow him win just like that. And I just feel like,
and you know the funny thing, it doesn't give me this all action vibe. I don't know if it's just me.
Everybody says it's more of the European lead back way, where they're not all action like the American.
They don't
Is it?
I think that's the word. They're not power based.
You think of LeBron, you think of power.
It's power.
I just want to see with Jokic.
They call it.
But I think it's the question everybody asks about Jokic is more of how effective is he in the defensive rounds, right? In terms of you see someone like LeBron, even though we age, that part of his game has reduced a bit. It still does his chase up blocks and all those things. But with Jokic, you don't really see that dominance in terms of being defensive. But then again, the people he's up against in terms of winning MVP, they're also maybe in a similar mood. And I think that's where the advantage comes from. And I think he'll win it again.
Are you on the Jokic train?
Yes, that's a good joke now. But I was reading someone talking about the voters' fatigue.
Everybody's tired of
that people might be tired and just want somebody else to run it. Though I'm not, so people are accused shy of foul baiting, and so there's a
it's never mattered.
So like some people already have a bias that cheating. It's not cheating. It's not cheating, but some people already have that. But with Jokic, there's never really a bad.
That's the bad. It's just the defense.
It's just There's not so except for voters' fatigue, Jokic should win another one. So voters.
Interesting. Let's jump again from NBA to Formula One. Like we spoke about earlier, I think the most fascinating story is one of the sportsman being one of the sports decorated champion constructors. And how do you think Lewis Hamilton will fare after this season?
We'll start tomorrow morning by 5 a.m. now, Nigerian time.
They didn't get off to a very great start. 7th and 8th.
It's in qualifying, yeah, but it's the first Grand Prix of the year now. Let's see what will happen. By this time on Monday, we would have compared notes and to see. Thank God there's Lando that is starting. So we know that we all know far apart. If Max was pole, it's done. But so let's see what happens.
How much of this qualifying actually impacts the winner at the end of the day?
It does a lot. It gives you head starts.
So then why sometimes I feel like, for example, look at Lewis now in 7th and 8th. It's really going to be tough for him to.
So qualifying and the real races. So a lot of people say that it's a mentality thing. It's more of knowing that, okay, you know what, let me just give myself the best advantage. I'm not going to drive too hard. These cars are maneuvered all the times. They are always altered. So it's more of, let me test my car. Let me put myself in the best position to actually do the racing tomorrow. It's not like you want to blow out your car. You want to DNF in your qualifying and all those things. So it's more of putting yourself in the best position. People that trust their cars, people that have been with their cars for longer, people that have maybe less alterations on their car, those ones can do the all wild things during qualifying, knowing fully well that it's nothing new. And for someone like Hamilton that's just changing constructors and all of that, you have to study your car, you have to learn and all of that. I'm actually rooting for Hamilton. I think Verstappen is the best driver on the race course today. Yeah, I also think Hamilton was cheated of one a while back, and I feel like everything should come back together and just give him his championship back. I know he's running out of time, age, and all of that, but it's not impossible. Let's see what Hamilton and for like you said, most decorated constructors versus and in conjunction with most decorated racer. So let's see how that one goes for Hamilton and Ferrari.
So I guess there's just one more final questions, and it's for Mercedes. Do you think George Russell has that main man character to fill the void? I wouldn't want to be him right now, honestly.
I think he'll do well. I think he'll do very well. I think apart from the main guys on circuits, that's Verstappen and Hamilton. I know people always talk about Leclerc, Sergio Perez, Sainz, Lando. Yeah, but I think you cannot categorically say any of these guys is better than him. So I think he has a very good chance. First time he's been a lead racer per se. Even though towards the tail end of him and Hamilton is whatever, it looked like they were on par. It was even better than Hamilton at that point. But yes, clearly the lead racer for Mercedes. So let's see what he has to offer. It's a big step to jump on from driver 2 to driver 1.
Yeah. And
if you don't see it happen, you'll just be making conjectures here and there. You will not know for a fact. So I want to see him race for a period as well, and we'll be able to answer that question.
All right, thank you very much, Featherton. I'm still sticking with the Formula One reference. This question: who is in the driver's seat or in the fast lane for the Ballon d'Or? And we spoke about PSG doing so very well, and I mean the conversation about the Ballon d'Or. It seems like it happens after every Champions League game, which makes you feel like, okay, so then why are we playing other leagues now? If this is where it happens, this is the main conversation for it. So I'm going to let you just, how do you feel as regards the fact that it seems like the UCL at the end of the day still picks or gets the most, what's the word? Gets the most support for whoever's going to win the Ballon d'Or at the end of the season.
So I'll start from Messi and Ronaldo left a very large void. And it was nice that the two people to have won it in and around Messi and Ronaldo, where people were not far off them in age at first. That was Lewandowski, Modric, and whatnot. Those people, Benzema, they were in and around, so it was not a problem. Then the best thing that happened to football was Rodri winning it. Like the next generation was Rodri winning it. So now, because we know Rodri was not going to win more than that one. Like, if we're being honest, Rodri was going to win more than that one. And now it is anybody's game in reality. Like now, like there are so many. Unfortunately, Neymar is done. If Neymar was still a fit firing footballer, or Hazard was still a fit firing footballer, this was the time either of them would now say, "Well, finally, I am King Charles." They have them. But looking at the people available to win it now, before PSG, Liverpool, I had Salah on top.
Before one game.
Before PSG, Liverpool, I had Salah on top. And why you say, so if we're being honest, if this was a World Cup here, we will not be making all these assumptions before the World Cup.
Yeah.
But because we know the biggest tournament of the year and all of them are in that tournament, you know, like Euros, Copa America, that you will not be arguing which tournament. Now this one, all of them are in super teams playing in that tournament. Even people who we didn't even think about.
All of them currently in the quarterfinals.
No, that's just like they were all in the tournament. Like they were all in the tournament. So except they were all in the tournament. So it was the tournament feels like the best judge of who is, because you're all together and we now played a league phase. So it feels like the best of them will emerge. So we see somebody who was not even, nobody thought about him till January. So I was going through bookies, and I had like a list of who bookies now think are favorite, and Salah dropped from 1 to like 3. So in the bookies now we have Raphinha number 1, we have I think Mbappe number 2, Salah 3, Vini 4, then what's 5 again? Dembele 5.
It's not funny.
Then notable mentions that we're not even on the list that we know that anything could happen, they will win. Harry Kane, Lamine Yamal. Even though Lamine Yamal's one, might be a bit. They might not want to give the kid when Raphinha is in the team.
Yeah.
Two people, Vini and Mbappe too. They will share. They are sharing.
That's what happened to Vinny and William last year.
So happened to Vini and Mbappe last year. So it's beautiful to watch. for now, I think Raphinha slightly leads. The problem now is it is a voting. So whatever we are telling ourselves here might not necessarily matter when the
minds
votes.
of the voter.
And I don't want to come across as being racist. If all the African countries decide to vote Salah first, that's what.
As it. Additional context.
Yeah,
Additional context.
is
No, additional context is people always forget that the Ballon d'Or is voted by French Football Magazine. So far, you have a French front runner.
so
And it's not just any French front runner, it's Kylian Mbappe.
so
But we've had him
The best
for and he still didn't win.
if he doesn't win the Champions League, he won't.
No, so
Okay,
sorry.
exactly.
So let me complete my context.
Please do.
Now, if you guys remember very well, 2022, Benzema was front runner alongside Mane, and everybody did the whole Liverpool Champions League final. I think they're second in the league. They won their 2 domestic cups. Senegal won. You know those things they packed together to make a case for them. I think altogether they had a better case than Benzema. Benzema won the Champions League and the league. Don't worry, it's not a big deal.
Standard.
Do you understand? Like, so now I'm saying if a French footballer had the things that Mane had, and a Senegalese player had the things that Benzema had.
No, Senegalese is far away now. Senegalese is far away.
That's how
No, Senegalese is far away.
now it's not just French, it's not Camavinga, it's not Theo Hernandez, it's Kylian
The
Mbappe.
Prince of France.
If Atletico had knocked Madrid out,
He's done.
do you understand?
If Arsenal knocks
done.
Madrid out, he's done.
It's done. Now, once he has a realistic chance of winning it, this is someone that's been primed as the next Ballon d'Or winner since he broke out. Once there's a realistic chance of him winning it, if Real Madrid win the Champions League or La Liga, or maybe the serious contenders get knocked out around the same period that he does. So, say for example, PSG knockouts. No, PSG, that's a big problem for Dembele.
Personally,
Part of this problem. Okay, so let's say that they get knocked out around the same period, or okay, Arsenal knock Madrid out. Arsenal now knock PSG out too, right? So that way, 2 of them are out of it, and maybe Raphinha too goes out early. Do you understand? If you're removing the big players where nobody really has the case of I want this and I want that, it's more of okay. Despite your shortcomings, how well did you do? Mbappe is going to clear everybody.
but
Needs.
let's think about. So let's go back to the people that we think. If Bayern does a madness and wins the UCL, I think by semi-final, or if Bayern gets to the final, Harry Kane's name will spike up.
Yes, but
That's one. 2, I think if Dembele wins the UCL and Mbappe wins La Liga, Mbappe will still win. I don't
Let me
agree.
ask you guys something.
Maybe depending on where Raphinha exactly.
Let me ask you guys something now. Do you think someone who is not doing so very well in the league but has an insane UCL and ends up winning?
someone like what?
I'm trying to be hypothetical.
So
Most of these guys are
all of
doing
them,
well.
all of them are good in the
They're
league.
doing very well in the league.
Okay, so let's
But do you feel that someone right now probably has
let's
most Ronaldo's stats in the league, in the UCL rather, but it's not doing so well in the
So-
league? Do you feel it will have any say?
it's possible. But
So
let me
we'll
put
see.
it this way. In Ballon d'Or voting, the most important thing is not what you've won. It is voter bias.
Voter bias.
That's what it is. Now, this person that you're talking about that is doing well in the league and is not doing well in Champions League, he needs to have some sort of reputation, some sort of PR, some sort of things, a lot of things going on for him, right? And that's why when the old Salah Rockers 3-4 weeks ago was happening, I was not moved because I know that it's not going to win it. It doesn't just have the clout. Like, people don't see him the same way they see Ballon d'Or winners. Everybody's always complaining about his game, saying which I think is unfair on him. Everybody's supposed to have their style and all of that. But I'm just talking about the people that are going to vote. So when we say doing well in the league, if somebody like Mbappe wins his league with golden boots, maybe best player, all those things, then go out in the Champions League semi-final, he still has a realistic chance. If somebody like Harry Kane does the same thing, no chance, forget it. If he wins his league, all those MVP, all those, and Champions League go out in semi-final, forget it, that's the end for him. So it's certain players are viewed in a certain light. So that is where the advantage will come in. That's why when Tommy said if Dembele wins the Champions League and Mbappe wins the league, Mbappe, because everybody sees Mbappe as a bigger player than. So a lot of it is just voter bias and all of that. That's why whenever people say, but this happened in 2022, why didn't it happen in 2023? It doesn't work. It's voter
So
bias.
let's drop who do we think will win the Ballon d'Or? Who is the best player?
Mbappe is the person that's going to win Ballon d'Or.
No,
Who is the stance?
world right now.
Oh, those are two different conversations.
So that's what I
The
said.
best player in the world right now
Right.
is very tricky.
Let's see if we had the same answer.
Yeah, it's very tricky.
I want to see if we had the same answer.
Who?
We have Raphinha right now.
No, it's not Raphinha.
I mean, I have
I don't
Raphinha.
think he's the best player in the world.
think
I think he's the best player in the world. The person that gets me off my seat the most right now is Lamine Yamal.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So just
He's not ripe enough to win the
So-
Ballon
so-
d'Or. Ballon d'Or votes for-
so gets you, getting you off your feet and being the best player might be more of be more of aesthetics than being the best.
It's aesthetics or fully people's bias.
So I think the most effective player in the world right now for me.
Yeah, you're stringing legit. And in the
So the issue with being the best right now is who contributes the most in quotes to the team's victories. I think
Are you saying? Wait, are you see? So do you think midfielders and defenders cannot contribute the most without scorer? I'm sure one of those are equal issues.
exactly. I think I count intangibles. That's why I said for me it's not about aesthetics. That's why I might not necessarily go for Yamal. It's not about how fine it is.
Okay.
That's why I if they ask me who's the best Barcelona player, I think it's Raphinha because he works his
It's solid.
Do you think Salah?
I thought it was Salah until he went out to PSG. Now.
Have you seen your bias?
Yes, I have to because that's the best tournament around. I have to. Mess up this. So just maybe because I think the world is unfair to Raphinha.
Okay.
He was not a Brazilian golden boy. He has had to.
I like that story. Yeah.
Yes, he has had to work his
Rent,
and so
his Ballon.
it's not an Mbappe or Vinicius that from 16 everybody thought. So he has had to actually put not a Yamal. He has had, even Salah is even a lot luckier because Salah got recognized by Chelsea early. So he has had to work himself to this position. Like he's not that the others didn't work, but when you watch Raphinha play for Barcelona, every time when they give him the armband, you could see that this guy is like, you know what, I would die here today, and he's giving the numbers too. So it might not be as beautiful to watch as Yamal or even as Dembele looks now and stuff. But I think what that guy gives, what he gives and numbers he's producing, for me, it just has to be on top. See, someone like Fede Valverde too is this season has been unreal, but his name is nowhere near those kind of players. I give them more props than the ones that stay in front, look beautiful and score.
So that's why I wanted to even chip in, because if we go to end products and people that win the games and get the results, nobody's going to tell you that Chris Wood is the best player in Premier League. Nobody's going to. A lot of people might lean towards even Isak because of like the entirety of his game, the way he looks. It's why a lot of people don't even like vote Haaland. I can't say the best player and obviously.
No, it's sweet. No, it's a see predicts.
That football evidence. Well, I'm just looking at someone like Haaland, and everybody always talks about certain maybe deficiencies in his game and all of that. So if I look at Lamine Yamal from the right wing, what I want to see, things that will excite me. Do you understand? That's what I want.
Everybody was complaining whether it was a goal or a cross. Okay, you will never know.
I don't care. So it's
football part of the net.
Yeah, so it's good football for me. Now, if you say the best players, it's just like whenever people start this
Hazard, Salah.
Hazard, Salah, yes. When people start Pedri, Bellingham too, right? Now, a lot of people say Bellingham gets the job done, and all of that. But
I prefer watching him. But
it's more of, I'm a midfielder. I'm supposed to have certain midfield functions and all of that. So Bellingham can do those things, but because of the team he's in, Ancelotti tried to do that at the beginning of the season. I said, bro, okay, play.
Guys, I think we're missing out on an important name.
What was that?
And it's because he's going injured. Amad Diallo.
Do you know that even United Legends on their show, they were mentioning players that they will keep, and I was appalled by it, and none of them called his name.
No, it's because I think it's because of
He's injured, and they remember to come. They said it.
Bigger can also kick him out. But he's injured. Bring them to mentioned.
Was that was Meno mentioned?
Meno was mentioned.
Oh, really?
And he said you call it him because they're both black. I was shocked. Like even Iron Rights, it was that, and no, I was waiting to hear somebody say Ahmad,
and nobody did.
and literally as well the best player in the team.
Don't worry, let's give them the umbrella. So if it does out, there's the easy way out is that there's an unanimous decision that they'll keep him.
All right, good conversation so far. We'll be wrapping up very shortly, but I mean, thank you so much for that, Tommy. There's loads of big games to come, and we'll just quickly touch that. But before that, I mean, we need to go through our normal ritual now, and the game called "What's the Legends First" or most memorable goal. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, already.
So we'll do that stuff where I count to 3 after I call his name. Then we just call the club that he's called against.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
1. Okay, no, I'll call his name first. Yeah, then I'll count to 3. The legend's name is Ronaldinho. 1, 2, 3. Chelsea.
It's similar.
Tommy, do the honors of.
It's the same goal, don't worry. It's the same goal. My host has gone now, but same goal. I actually thought of that Chelsea goal too, but the Milan one came to my head first. I don't know if you guys remember it. And so it was running through, I think it was Nesta in front. So it is the body movement. That's like, so they were losing 1-0. So it was the goal that won them toward. And all of that. I think that's one of the. I think that goal was in 04-05.
4-5. I think
I think it was 04-05. I think it was in the group stage.
I know the
So from Boset. I think it was brilliant.
So which goal came to your mind first? Really? Was that his goal against Chelsea where
Madrid one.
he mesmerized the whole Chelsea defense and
It was if that Madrid one too.
is there that or is it the one for Ifedo 2 that against AC Milan? We'll be moving on now to most to come in the next few days. There's the big one in Syria, Inter versus Atalanta, and guys, the record is crazy. When I checked it yesterday, I was like, what's all Atalanta do to actually, because Inter's won the last 5, and I mean they've kept clean sheets in like 4 of those games. So what would Ademola plan do to change that?
So if Inter still beats Atalanta after the Champions League game, playing with their full team, and what was Atalanta doing all week now? So we all know Gasparini likes to play on the front foot and all that stuff, and Inter like to counter you. So as if I was explaining about the Inter Bayern thing, if Gasparini does that, they might pick him out. But I won't be shocked if Inter rotates heavily. No, but there's an international break. No, he won't rotate. I don't think he rotates. If there was international break, I would expect him to fully rotate, and so there might be a chance for Atalanta to nick one thing. Maybe them Taremi and the likes.
This guy still score.
They still score, but then I'm looking at the level. At the level that Atalanta is.
What's the name of that left back? Carlos Augusto.
So Augusto. So look at the level. Zielinski, all those get there. So let's look at the level that Atalanta is. So if they rotate like that against Atalanta, it might be a better chance for Atalanta to win the game.
Who to win? Fair.
I have to go with Inter.
Inter. All right. I'll come to you for Atletico Barcelona. This their insane run of fixtures continue, and they play Barcelona again. So what do you feel? What do you think is taking that?
I think Barcelona have this one.
Okay.
I think they've fought out to Atletico too many times this season, and I think this is time to make things right. You cannot be in a better spot considering the fact that Atletico just got knocked out. You just qualified, so your confidence level
Should be
is on extremely opposite Cholo ends. Yeah, Cholo always has the factors, but it's not like they're going to whitewash them or anything. It's going to still be a close game, but I think all things put together, I think
I'll take that one.
Barcelona-
All right. There's the Carabao Cup final as well this weekend, and Newcastle fans will be hoping and praying for their first trophy in years. Do you think Isak and Co can do it?
So Luis Hall is injured.
One is suspended.
Ballon is suspended.
Trent is injured. Who's going to play right back?
But Trent has not really
Is
been.
Bradley injured?
Has Trent been himself this season?
Bradley's injured. Gomez is injured.
Gomez is injured.
The most likely option on right back is Kwasa.
Afi Barnes.
It's a big problem.
That's a big problem. Afi Barnes.
And
Or maybe Endo.
the extra context is Liverpool played 120 minutes. McAllister
And look,
suppose that I could not finish.
Konate too had cramps.
Yeah, so and you guys were resting.
I think they will be fit. I think they will be fit. I think they will.
Being fit. It's about
Because played on Monday, I mean.
yeah. Lucas played on Monday.
They were poor on Monday though.
Yeah, they were poor.
They were poor on Monday.
They were poor on Monday.
I think Liverpool. So I think Salah needs to redeem himself.
I have Newcastle.
I think Salah.
Oh.
I think I'm going for Liverpool.
Did you guys get that? Yes.
I have Newcastle.
I'm going for Liverpool.
All right.
I think Salah.
Yeah, I have Newcastle.
Liverpool, Newcastle. All right. Finally, I'll start Chelsea. Just prediction.
They told me Debbie.
You tell me Derby, I'll tell you Derby. So quickly, who's going? That's all. I went on that note. Till next week. Goodbye.